What's up, D?
What's up? I have something to say.
Don't you always?
Let's go Dodgers. Let's go Dodgers.
Woo! I am such a fake baseball fan this weekend, man. That was riveting. I'm not even a real baseball fan, but that was amazing.
So, obviously I grew up in LA. I watched the Dodgers win a lot and I've been to a lot of Dodger games, but I'm not a regular season baseball guy.
Type of fella.
It's a long season. It's like NBA to me. It's just too long. And
Yes.
all of a sudden, playoff time, wild card, it's like so intense and everyone cares. And then it becomes like the best sport ever for like 2 months. And it was funny. I was in New York all week. So I was watching all of these baseball games so late at night. Like,
yes,
they started
especially that one. That one went to midnight.
Yeah, 3 a.m. I went to sleep at 2:30 because I had like an 8 a.m. meeting, so I was like so tired. God.
Mm-hmm.
And what's funny is all the people I'm with, I didn't realize like a lot of people like intensely watch baseball, and especially like Dodgers and Blue Jays and Yankees fans, and they're talking about pitching and rotation. I'm like, yeah. I'm down with all the Japanese guys.
That's a safe bet for the Dodgers.
Yeah. I was just like, yeah, dude, Japan all the way.
Yep. That's all you need to know.
Very fun.
It was so good.
Very insane ending. I'm sure you watched Game 7 at least. I don't know if you watched both those games.
I watched a lot of it. I probably watched the last like 5 games.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't know. Number one, I like any finals. I like NBA finals. I like obviously the Super Bowl. I like World Series. Because that's just my problem is I like sports in that, like I like the competition of it. I just don't know who anyone is in the regular season or know the storyline or know why I should care about this team over this team. But I did, the one sport I played the most of when I was a kid was baseball. And we would go to Indians games and we would go to minor league games. And so I would say like definitely the most, my dad coached my little league team, like definitely the most experience on baseball. So, but even like at the gym I go to, they would put the game on every evening. So I started watching it there and then watch it at home. And then last night I went to a little get together and it was just so good. And honestly, I hate to say it, sorry, real Dodger fans, but like, I kind of thought they weren't going to win. Like yesterday around the 7th inning, I was like,
I was doubting it. But then it's like the same thing how I feel about like certain players like Patrick Mahomes or teams like Tom Brady and the Patriots. Like there's just people that are just stone cold winners.
Winners are winners, yeah.
This Dodgers team, they're stone cold winners. We were not going to let the 51st state win. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That should have been the bet. If you lose Game 7, you're 51st state.
Yeah, if not, you're annexed for
you're
life.
Out of the MLB.
And you get, I don't know, U.S. has to give $50 billion to Canada.
Also, why are you even in the MLB? You know what I mean? Why are we allowing, what is this? You're American or you're out.
Yeah, it's an American pastime. It's not the Canadian pastime.
Yeah, it was amazing. I literally I was watching the game at my house alone and I was like locked in. And, but then I just felt like their energy was off. It just felt like the Blue Jays were going to win. And so I drove over to my friend's house and literally when I stepped out of the car, I could hear them screaming in the house. And so I rushed in the house and it was because they had just hit the tying point. And everyone was going bananas. And then like everyone was just on pins and needles those last couple innings because we were just waiting for something to happen. And then it's just like the explosion of the victory. It was so good.
Yeah. I mean, really, really, really great. Great for LA, great for the players.
Great
great
Nike
for the sport.
ad.
Yeah. I think it's just good. It also makes you feel like, when I was thinking, obviously the last couple of weeks I've been traveling a lot and, everyone at every dinner meeting, everyone is bringing up AI and robotics and all these types of things. It just tells you why like sports is going to get way bigger. Like it could 10x from popularity from here because there's not going to be that because like TV shows and movies might actually get better with AI.
Yeah.
Like I know people believe that's not true, like a creative, but like it might be good enough for a lot of people.
Right.
And then what happens is like what's left? There's not that much left. Maybe comedy because people are just so clever, or like AI can't be as racist as a comedian. But it comes down to then like sports just feel like I think all sports, not like I think every sport just becomes so much more popular.
Yeah, I also think that there like becomes a premium on like the best of the best like human things. I don't think all human things are going to survive, obviously, and I think but I think the best of the best, like AI can never give you that moment that we had last night. It was only because it was humans competing at the highest human level, buzzer beater moment like that. You'll never get that from AI. And I just feel like the top tier, like probably the best concerts in the world will be jam packed. Can't get a ticket. So expensive, but all the others will probably kind of fall away. And you just can't replace that moment.
Exactly. I think the best of everything just rises, best of the human experiences. That's a really great call out.
Yeah, that's what it seems.
Another human experience I experienced, and kind of the birth of the podcast. I went to ComplexCon last weekend in Vegas.
Yeah, tell me about it. I should have. Aaron sent me an email, and I should have. I felt like I should have went, but tell me what I missed.
Look, I went in the morning, came back in the evening because we had like school and family stuff. But I was like, it was interesting. So the big takeaways, the most popular brands there, and actually most of I would say half the brands there were Japanese and Korean.
Yep.
A lot of Asian brands, and which I thought was quite fascinating. The crowd is a pretty good mix of young people and older people. It definitely has there's a lot of people closer to your and mine ages that are there. And I think for them, it's a bit of nostalgia more so than, are they still like consumers in the culture? I think it's like fun to see people. I think it's fun to hang out and eat food and hang out in Vegas. I definitely feel like it's like that. There's all the cool young brands that obviously I'm not fully aware of, or some of these musicians like Ken Carson who perform, things like that. So that's still happening where it's like youth culture and youth kind of things. The food lines are like insanely long and popular. It's people definitely want a taste of what's happening in LA and New York from like the hot food restaurants. But yeah, I mean, look, I think it's the show is still thriving. It was a lot of people there. A lot of people we all know were there. Like there was still the circus element of the culture, which I think is incredibly important, because if it doesn't feel like a bit of a circus, then I don't think it does well. But I did, I was talking to Neil, who also helps run the show and listens to the pod as well with Aaron. Shout out to both of them for doing a great job. I was telling Neil, I'm like, I feel like the Asian influence is so big, you can just flip it and have Lisa from Blackpink be the creative director and like take it in a completely different direction also, because like, I feel like there's so many subcultures within street culture now that make it like bigger than ever, but also, I think like it could be even, I honestly think it could even be bigger, like going in a wider direction.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to, like, what I was thinking through in my head, but I couldn't come up with a take is, like, is kind of the streetwear that we once knew just no longer there? Like kind of the LA Fairfax or the New York, wherever that was kind of epicentered, like, is it just broader now with the Asian influence and the internet influence and the, is it just, is it still technically even streetwear? I don't know. I have no idea. And I'm the last person who should have a take on it. But what you're saying makes sense. Like it just doesn't seem like the same world that we came up in.
Definitely not. It is not the LA, New York, Fairfax brands. It's brands from all over the world, all over the country, different parts of literally different corners of the country, there's brands. So I think it's definitely evolved, and it's like the internet really, there's Australian brands that were popular. There were Asian brands that were popular. So I definitely think it's like a whole new era. The one thing, my one call out, which I felt like it was really driven by older people there, was the amount of weed you smelled.
Yeah.
Like weed to me feels passe.
Yeah.
I think it's like,
well, I think the smell of weed,
drinking,
I think
drinking, I know, is on the decline and has a negative connotation to it. Weed to me feels like completely out of touch, the smell.
I think the smell of actual weed being burnt, like I think, different vapes and edibles and those things are all still in play. But I think like a blunt being smoked it's so 40, it's very 40 streetwear.
You're smoking a blunt, you're a boomer, 100%. Yeah. Like it's boomer insane blunts. To like, there's so many better mechanisms at this point if you want cannabis.
Yeah, that's funny. That's a funny take. And I feel like I would I don't even know the last time I was around like blunt smoking, but I feel like it just feels outdated.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm not around, 19 to 24-year-olds, but like the young people I'm around definitely are not smoking blunts.
Yeah, I think it's just different delivery, like you said, delivery mechanisms. Because same with drinking. Yeah.
But always interesting, and I know the show is now going global, and just I'm sure Aaron and company are going to make it like bigger than ever. And there's a lot to come, and it's exciting just to be a part of it and still feel. I'm waiting for the age where my children can come, because I think I'm curious always how the next generation will view it. But I would say in the next 5 years, maybe less than 5 years. Oldest is 8. I feel like they'll get into these things at like 10, 11, 12 years old.
Yeah, I think so. And huge props to Aaron and Neil. And it seems like it would be really tough to have to stay on the pulse constantly.
Oh, yeah.
And when things are no longer familiar, and when things are no longer, it's not like, once again, like we said, it's not, Aaron and Neil too, like came up in the same world that we did, but like a lot of those relationships and stuff are different now, I would imagine. And I would imagine there's like a lot of new people you got to go track down, and brands you got to understand, and things you got to wrap your head around. That's like, must be pretty difficult.
I agree. And I think, even just like, I think the economy plays a big play in who shows up to these types of things. And Vegas has recently been like suffering. I think they said 2 million less visitors so far in 2025. Yep. And you just think about it, like start extrapolating the dollars here. What's the average person spending in Vegas? It ain't $100. It's way more than that, right? You're talking billions of dollars that have been sucked out of Vegas. And then you would assume a lot of people's ticket, like the average ticket they're spending at an event or a dinner, has gone down as well. So there is also an economic headwind that you have to face by doing these events, especially in times like this. And I was thinking about it, like when I landed in Vegas, I was able to get a flight really easy the day before, a flight back Saturday night. Obviously it's not going to be busy coming back from Vegas. And I ended up seeing an article that the Wynn continues to do well, but Caesars and all of the properties they own in Las Vegas, which they own a lot, are struggling. Yeah. So it goes back to like the high end of the market is thriving, and then that the rest of the market is struggling, and the Wynn stock is on fire, and Caesar stock is struggling.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's always the case in tough times, right? Like, or with disruption or anything like that. It's like all the wins accrue to the winners, and everyone else has a really tough time.
Yeah, and I think the unique, and I don't know financial history that well, so I can't speak to all these eras, but I know in 2008, 2009, everyone suffered. Like the rich suffered equally as the poor because of housing and subprime loans, and the stock market got crushed. The stock market's near a record high.
Yeah.
Most assets are still at record high, but there's a consumer confidence and consumer spending issue across the country.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part that I think is like pretty hard to reconcile, because like, I don't know how many times where everything was at record high and then everyone was struggling at the bottom.
Yep.
By the way, I don't know if you can comment on this, and maybe you don't, but Rob Dyrdek was the story of the internet the last 48 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of comment on it. I mean, like I guess maybe we're so close to it that we don't realize, but literally it was like the end of an era for like the entire internet for a couple of days. It was, I mean, I talked to them yesterday, and it's like the most press anything we've ever done has gotten, which is funny. But I think that just speaks to like how ingrained in, everybody's lives it is.
So it said it was 46 seasons.
I guess so. Yeah. 14 years. Yeah. It's mind-blowing.
And I think the big shocker to the internet was that it was reported that he was making $32 million a year.
Yeah. And I'll let him comment on that, but I'd say at least. I think I'll let him. It's only because I'm only going to say because the internet, released it, or Bloomberg or whoever got a hold of it. But I think that when I think he probably plans to do kind of like another business round of like media and stuff, meaning like more interviews and who knows, maybe a book or a podcast or something like that. And I think that when people actually hear what's been going on for the last 14 years, they're going to be like absolutely mind blown. And it's far from, I don't think anyone really had a negative take, at least that I saw, but far from like a sad story. I think that when people see what he was up to, he kept really quiet about it when it came to like numbers and things. But when people see what that looked like, what that run of ridiculousness in specific looked like, it's wild.
Yeah. It's an incredible story. I mean, he's basically probably the highest paid TV actor of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I would say net proceeds. I wonder, like net inflows.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Okay, let's just throw out names. Jerry Seinfeld, Friends cast.
Seinfeld and Oprah is the only.
Charlie Sheen, right. Dr. Phil.
Yeah, right. But Seinfeld, Oprah, I would say are the top two probably, right?
Yeah.
And I would say, I don't know. I mean.
And Cousin Rob just sitting at the top of the Mount Rushmore of television.
Yeah, it's wild. Like I said, so much of it has been done like quietly, I don't remember, other than that number coming out just the other day in the press, I don't remember anyone ever knowing his numbers. I don't know that he's ever said it. I know he planned to say it one day, but I don't know that anyone knew. I think everyone obviously knew that show was literally all MTV sort of was programming, but I don't think people know. And when he breaks down even the way he shot it and the way he organized filming and how efficient it was, and
I only got a sense of how much money he was making just from his Instagram. That was it.
Well, you can get a good sense. I mean, that's why I'm not, I'm not being too shy about it. He's not very shy about it. If you look at his Instagram, you can guess how the last 14 years have went. But
congrats, Rob. That is a incredible journey. I mean, he's been on TV over 20 years now, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I guess Rob and Big probably premiered in 06, 07. So
yeah, damn near.
Yeah, it's wild. So I know. Once again, I'll let him do all of his stuff, and I'll ask him to come on the pod actually when he's ready to talk about it. But there's definitely like another chapter for him planned, and I think that for him too, 14 years is a long time, and 20 years of being in front of a camera. I can say I did it for 10, and I was burnt out.
You were burnt out of it. I mean, I remember. Yeah, I remember when completely. Ridiculous started. I was like, "You need to do that." He's like, "Man,
I know. I know. Yeah, it's wild. So I mean, I was actually on the pilot episode of it, and yeah, swapped it out. But he'll talk about it. It's nuts. Congrats to him. Insane run, and yeah, the press was crazy.
Yeah, it was fun to see.
Yeah. Good stuff. You want to know the one other thing I wanted to mention that just came to my mind is we were talking about staying cool with Complex, and one thing I noticed in my just sort of passive watching of Sunday football is they are just 6-7ing till the cows come home. Have you seen that?
Yes, everything.
Not only everything's except the commentary 6-7, the lead into the new game is 6-7, the broadcasters are 6-7. They are just 6-7ing their tits off over there at the NFL. And look, at the end of the day,
by the way, even the World Series, Rocky Sasaki, the Dodgers pitcher, 6-7. He does it every 5 seconds.
Yep. And look, I'll say props to them. I mean, I think the NFL obviously just absolutely crushes. It's hard to like have a negative take about them as a business, but they must have some young people in there on the staff that just say, hey, trust me, I know you have no fucking idea what this is, but we need to lean in. Because it feels, I bet a lot of kids, like kind of like you and your kids, like kids are probably watching with their dads, or dads have heard their kids saying it and don't even know what it means. And now it's all over the broadcast, and it just feels really relevant.
It was a very, very popular. The reason why I think it's also dead, it was a very popular parent Halloween costume.
What did they do? Just a shirt that said 6-7
like the dad is 6 and the mom is 7.
That's good. Yeah, that's how you know it's at the
very,
end.
Very fun, but it's officially over.
Yep. But that feels to me like perfect time for. Yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
But they were even right before we started, they were cutting the commercial and they were playing the song. I think it's Skrilla or whoever has the original song that it came from. That was their like fade out music. Like they're just all in, but probably perfect time because I feel like right now all the parents have just sort of got familiar with it in the last month.
Yeah. I mean, I talked about it. I can't remember when on the pod, maybe 5-6 weeks ago, probably.
Yeah. Probably a month and a half.
When I was talking about it.
You're early though. You're a hip parent.
Yeah. I mean, I only know because of my kids. I didn't know because of social media. Our oldest said 6-7 and did this. And my wife called me and I was like, I have no idea. Is that like some gang thing? Like, what is going on here? So
6-7.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry to all the parents, but probably we're at the end of the 6-7 chapter, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's time to move on.
You know what I was thinking? I don't think there's any real money in this. But it would be nice if someone did a really fun like newsletter and, content media business around keeping adults in the loop on trending words and items. And, like tell it to me in normal terms. You don't have to be too formal, but I don't want you to be like, yo, it's lit 6-7. You heard?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like give it to me. But like, just, I talk to a lot of, I guess millennials now that are really struggling to understand. Yeah.
There's also Group 7. That's a new one too.
Saw that too. Yeah. That was a big one. Did you see that? That was pretty wild, actually.
I only saw my friend Rafa posted it, and then I laughed. I'm like, what's that? And then he was like, oh, it's the new 6-7.
Yeah. Well, no, that'll be gone. That'll be gone this week, but it was crazy. It's just, it's wild. It's crazy how fast things move.
Yeah. Speaking of how fast things move, and actually an incredible place for the Rob Dyrdek Foundation that I'm sure statues are being built for it. Amazon just cut 30,000 jobs.
Man, there was a lot too. I mean, Target let go of a lot.
UPS.
There was a lot, but I think Amazon was obviously big news.
I think the biggest thing about Amazon, particularly compared to other companies, Amazon had their quarter announced.
Yeah.
Record revenues, record profits.
Bananas.
And Andy Jassy came out and said, it was a performance cut.
Right.
That is a fucking death blow because he's like, it had nothing to do with AI. It's nothing to do with, he's like, we are trying to be a high performance company. And I was like, whoa.
But don't you think maybe a little fake news? Don't you think AI is so scary and you're going to be like it's bad press to say these are AI cuts? Don't you think that maybe?
Here's what I would say. I actually think he's being honest. And the reason why is because all of these companies, all companies in general, but more importantly, these big companies during COVID severely overhired.
Right.
And yes, their businesses all have exploded, but we all know the bloat at a very large company. I mean, shit, a bloat at a small company exists. Can you imagine the bloat at a large company? And so I think it's like a rejigging of like, hey, more than likely, like we're going to go through this transitional phase. Let's get ahead of it. And let's look at our org and be like, do we need all of these people? Do we have people doing overlapping jobs? And so I think it was a big wake up call in my opinion. Cause like, it also feels like, I don't know if AI has even really impacted these businesses yet. Like I think in robotics and warehouses has been happening and is going to accelerate dramatically, but like what's going to, I mean, judging just the way I see AI used in our company, it's very hard to like fully replace anyone. And I think it's just making more people productive. That I agree. So I don't know. I find it hard to believe that it was just it's all AI.
Yeah, it's fair. And it could also be the other way. It could be that it's not AI at all. And it's all kind of getting blamed on AI. Yeah. But man, what a combo. It's just a pretty crazy combo to smash earnings. It's kind of like you said earlier about like stuff being tough while the stock market is at an all-time high. That's happening literally with Amazon. So 30,000 people just lost their jobs, but smashed earnings, stock at an all-time high, talk of the town. It's wild.
Yeah, it is a very, very interesting time. And I think, another indicator that a lot of people have been talking about has been the fast food, fast casual restaurants. I know you're a Chipotle guy. But Chipotle came out and straight up said, their CEO in the earnings call last week was, our consumer is struggling financially. Yeah. And then you start looking across the board of that bowl concept, around the country, they're all struggling.
Yep.
All those restaurants are struggling. And so to me, then it says, okay, it's not a Chipotle thing. A lot of people want to blame it on Chipotle because they're like the biggest in the space, but people are struggling.
Right.
And it's now showing up in food.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's just hard to, like you said, it's hard to fully figure out because there's two different things happening at once. And the economy, as far as the stock market, is absolutely on fire. I mean, it's up like 17% this year.
Yeah.
Something absurd. That's crazy.
Off of already 20-something% last year.
Yeah, that's not like decent. Like that is wild.
Yeah.
But at the same time, then you have this sort of like, like this recession. I mean, people keep talking about recession. And what's funny too, is I see a lot on TikTok of like, oh, you want me to do that in this economy? It just depends on what economy you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because the economy of the stock market is
in the economy, right? Like,
yeah.
There's different stacks of it. And I think on particularly the food stack, like, I was in New York all week. If you go to like hot restaurants, can't get a res, packed, like more expensive than ever. And then what's funny is I had a meal with someone work related, and we were at a restaurant where like wasn't very vegetarian friendly, so I didn't eat much. So like midnight, I'm walking back to my hotel, and I stop by the pizza place across the street, and I order a slice of pizza and 2 bottles of water. And the guy goes $4.50. I go, oh, you forgot to charge me for the water. And he goes, no, it's with the water. I'm like, are you sure? And he goes, I go, how much is the pizza? He goes, $1. So I got a pizza and 2 waters for $4.50. So then I was like, and I was obviously a little drunk. It was 12 o'clock. So I look around me and I was like, oh, I'm the only non-homeless person in here.
Right. Yeah,
like,
it's
it is literally like two. It's I've said it before. If you've ever read A Tale of Two Cities, the opening line, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, and it literally feels like that right now. And from a book perspective, this is interesting.
Yeah.
That ties into this. Have you read 1929?
No.
Andrew Ross Sorkin.
Yep.
Too Big to Fail guy.
Yep.
He has a whole book around 1929 and like what led to it and what happened. I'm audiobooking it actually. It's really good.
Is it good?
It's really good.
The thing that got me, I'll just be honest, I'm not saying this is a correct take, but I felt like his press was all around like the similarities that are happening now. And it just, I don't know, anytime that happens, it just feels doomery, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you like it.
I like it just because it's interesting to hear the story of that era. And I'll be honest, there are similarities in the way that people were like over-levered and kind of the euphoria of investing. But I also think structurally there's a lot more regulation today. There is obviously some crazy shit happening, but I'm also pretty confident like it can't get to that level again. Not to say there can't be a correction or a crash. I can't predict what happens. We saw that with tariffs, what that created to the market in April. So anything is possible if Trump decides to change his tune on something. But I think he cares too much about the stock market.
Right. I mean, look, the only like realistic critique is just how bubbly AI could potentially be, right? But there's an argument there. It's not a fact.
There's definitely an argument, but to me, there's enough. And I'm like, I like to dip my toe into the hype, but I'm not like sold always. But I am sold that AI and robotics will be deflationary. I just don't know when. Like there was I don't know if you heard this. Dara from Uber said that Waymos are 95% like more efficient in filling time than Uber drivers, right? Because Uber drivers are, they got to pee or they got to whatever they got to do. They're not doing it, right? And so it's pretty fascinating to see that like this is the first sign of like, oh shit, hyper efficiency is possible in non-humans. And when that happens, I mean, that's going to be.
I can't even. I can't even make a prediction, but I am very optimistic. The other thing, this is kind of related, but I'm doing a little bit of a jump. Have you ever went to that Tesla restaurant on Santa Monica?
No, I mean, I've been dying to go take the kids. I feel like they would love it.
It is the coolest. I didn't go to it, but I was literally stuck in traffic out front of it on Friday night. And it is just, they were playing Star Wars on these 2 massive screens. And like, there's all the Teslas charging and man, that type of shit makes me feel like the future is just going to be really cool and fun. And like, it was just so cool. If you picture what I was picturing is like essentially those becoming, Waymo, when Tesla, Robotaxi takes over Waymo, which I think is inevitable. And then you have these diners where the cars are charging and then they're going out doing runs and it's just like, oh, it's so cool, man.
Yeah. Cool. I'm pretty bullish on all that stuff that it's actually that's why like the euphoria feels crazy to an outsider, but like the people in it. And I'm just going to say like, I think the people in tech, as delusional as they come off, they're really fucking smart.
Yeah.
And the operators of Google and Microsoft and Facebook and Nvidia and Tesla, like, yeah, sure, they're money hungry, but I would argue they're more like focused on being revolutionary than just money hungry. Like Apple doesn't feel like they're revolutionary, but all those other companies do.
Yeah. And I would also argue that you're not only talking about the founders being smart or the CEOs, but you're talking about they have now gathered the smartest people that our country and world has to offer. And they've gathered cash the size of most countries or more. And so that combination is why I'm so optimistic. You put all those things together, it's like, how are you not going to figure it out? It's just crazy.
I think it's like, I'm so optimistic. Like, I don't know what the stock market does in the next 2, 3, 4 years, but man, I'm like, these guys, they're on some other shit.
Yeah. I think like, even I guess to our listeners or whatever, like, I think being negative or being pessimistic has never been both like so tempting and also such a bad move, because one thing.
And sorry to interrupt, but like to your point, when we were doing this podcast during COVID, we were the pessimist. We're like, how is anything going up? How is everything? Because honestly, I don't think we structurally understood that all it matters is liquidity. It has nothing to do with the real economy. It has everything to do with interest rates and liquidity in the market. And people always said, don't fight the Fed. That's like a saying. And like, we're in that same era. Like, don't fight what's happening. Just ride the fucking train.
Yeah. And the reason why I say that too is like, even I guess just like, it's a reminder to myself, but for our listeners too, is like, it's so fucking tempting, man. Like, there's so much media and news and political stuff that tells you to be pissed and to be upset and to be doomery about AI and to be all this shit. And it's just like, man, when I see what's happening with the stock market and then knowing what's happening to a lot of, everyday Americans, it's like, dude, if we could just get, and we've talked about this a million times. We talked about it even with the Trump account and all this stuff. But like, if you could just get everyday Americans to participate and be excited by participating in all of this growth, now all of a sudden, like, everyone's on the same page, and like we're all, because I even see it. I've said this a million times too, and I apologize, but man, there are some guys at my gym that would have never, they credit us with why they even got involved in the stock market and all that stuff. And I talk to them every week, and I'm telling you, the way they start rifling off stock prices to me when I walk through the door, and, oh, did you see we're up 5% today? Oh, did you see blah, blah, blah. Oh, I just cracked X amount in my account. I just, do you think that I could use this to get a house one day if that, whatever, it like changes. Yeah. These are people that wouldn't have otherwise like participated and would have just been in the rat race of the salary and the hope. And it just, you see the way it changes.
So we're out here doing God's work, and the Democrats are preaching that everyone making money is trying to cheat you and rob you and all that type of stuff. So, we have a person being elected mayor on Tuesday in New York City who's saying the opposite, saying, you know what? You're not going to participate. Instead, I'm going to give you, it's so literally bad. Backward thinking. And I think, so you're fighting, you have major headwinds, and what you're trying to say is true. Like, get participation, because there's half the population doesn't want that.
Right. And you're also handicapping people, because if you don't teach people the game and instead you just like, give them $1,000 a month because you think that they need your welfare, you just train people to be stupid and live check to check again and rely on the government again. And maybe that's what they like, but it's just like, you don't teach people. You want to know the number one way to not think Elon Musk is an evil billionaire? Invest in Tesla. You'll love Elon Musk. Yeah. Because he's making you money. Yeah. And
it's the saying, give a man a fish or teach a man to fish.
I know. And it feels a little maybe paranoid or conspiratorial, but like, I really feel like that a lot of politicians, mostly on the left, unfortunately, their strategy is to keep people dumb and dependent on them and to be everyone's mommy and daddy. And it's just like, dude, if you taught people the game, everyone now has more access than ever, and Robinhood and all there's a million ways to get involved, and no one's talking about it at all. They're saying that all of these people that are creating so much wealth for people, not just for themselves. Yeah. They're saying they're all evil and they fucked you and rely on us. We'll give you free handouts.
Yeah, and I think, but it's working, right? Like it's resonating with people,
Clearly.
and I think, we have to fight Zohan, and we have to keep educating people that like you can if you follow the stock market, retail trading on options and equity are at par or bigger than institutional investing today. And there was someone on CNBC the other day, I forgot who it was, someone like a big analyst on Wall Street, and said the institutional money is following retail now because retail is so powerful at moving the prices of stock.
Yeah.
And so they are basically saying, oh, which way is retail going? We're going to try to front run them, right? And which means that like they're paying attention to what regular ass people on social media have decided to. I mean, this is the real revolution that's happening, not the one at the No Kings protest. The financial revolution that's happening is the one on Twitter, on TikTok, where people are deciding, like, you know what? Like if I was thinking I'm being rigged in the economy because of where I sit in the economy, then go be a part of the individual investors who are rigging it back, who decide
that's what I'm saying.
GameStop or Open Door and say, fuck it, we believe this is the next company. We're all going to invest in it, and our belief system is going to make us rich.
Yes. It's also like if you and I don't know how to play chess. You do. If we sat down and played chess, I would tell you the game is rigged. It's not rigged. You just know how to play it and I don't. And so instead of teaching me how to play chess, you're going to just agree, the game's rigged and D's evil. What?
Yeah.
Why don't you just teach me how to play chess? It's been easier than ever. I can play online. I can learn on ChatGPT. It's easier than ever to learn the game, and everyone can play it. But instead, you tell people to turn off to it and just get angry and bitter. And I mean, it's just, like I said, look, I don't think I'm going to change the world. I know you think that you can, which I'll be with you on your journey. But I'm just saying for our listeners, at least, please do not get jaded and bitter and pissed. And because I don't know, I just think there's been nonstop amazing growth for the last however long, and there's no reason it's not going to continue, and we can all participate.
Yeah. And
just don't get bitter.
Exactly. And on the eve, basically tomorrow of election night, there's obviously what's happening in New York, and there's a lot of other important things happening in local elections across the country. So you got to go vote. And good news for us, Drama. Trump and Xi are finally on the same page.
I know.
Did you see the tariffs? Do you see them?
Absolutely. You better believe I did. I'm on a cliff's edge over here. I
mean, talk about like timing too, right? Like it is like all the shipments from the holidays landing or about to land.
Yes.
For like smaller brands, like big retail, they got it in September, October, but like smaller guys get it in right now.
All of mine.
All of yours.
I'm a victim. Now
you're a hero.
No, 100%. I'm just saying when he announced like a month ago, like, 100% tariffs, obviously, look, at this point, and I hope everyone else does too, like you got to learn that the guy's just negotiating in public. And however freaked out we are, China is panicking just as much or more. And that's his style. He's not going to implode the entire economy, but he is a little wild, and he will negotiate and play chicken in front of everyone on fucking Truth Social. But when that news came that like, 100% tariffs, it's just like,
I didn't even, honestly, I didn't flinch because I laughed. I laughed at it.
I didn't either, but it was on a Friday, and literally everyone in, my company and other people, my phone was just going crazy at 5 p.m. on a Friday. Everyone's panicking. And anyway, landed the plane. It looks like here we are. All is good.
So the big news is, the big discussion was around rare earth exports out of China, which is really needed for our big technology companies to build kind of the future infrastructure of AI and robotics. So that was a big win. Obviously, the fentanyl tax of 10% extra is getting removed. So we're basically going back to March tariffs now at this point. So all that additional stuff is all gone. And then China has to buy like 12 million I don't know, whatever of soybean, and then guarantee 25 million every year. And there's just a lot of other details in it. But like the big news is the tariffs and the rare earths. And what more importantly, they both came out and said like very positive things about the future of like peace and prosperity. And so that tone change is so good for the world.
So good.
It's so good because that, you know, that they're our threat, right? Like we're not threatened by anyone else in the world at this point. They're the threat to American dominance. So it's incredible that, you know, that happened, and we're in like a, to your point, a soft landing.
He announced that yesterday, huh?
Yeah. Futures are up.
Again, once again, man, that market. Because just some stability there between just general stability in relations, I just feel like is going to be so good for the market.
Yeah, exactly. Like investors love predictability and stability.
I just don't get like, I guess it's all part of a machine, right? Where like the media is incentivized to panic. But like, once again, we got to stop falling for the bait. Like, you know, it's going to work out. Like the guy is not, it's not a deranged psycho cratering the economy, blowing up two economies. Yeah. Like we're good. Everything's good.
Yeah.
It's just, I see people fall for the bait over and over and over. And it just, don't watch the news, people. Just listen to group chat.
Really shouldn't. It's just, it's too intense.
Yeah. Yeah. Mamdani. We talked about Mamdani. I'm going to New York. Hopefully we're there at the same time. I'm going in a couple of weeks. I think like on the 17th, but I'm just really looking forward to enjoying New York for the last time.
Yeah, it was fun. I was I had a lot of good jokes with all my friends in New York.
Yeah. It's over.
Yeah.
I mean, what they're going to have, like, I think it's like there might be like a dark 8 years of New York City.
Well, what's funny is, you know, I was hearing a lot of people say this, that like, they're not afraid of Mamdani. They're afraid that he's successful.
Well, what would they like that he's actually able to enact some of the things he talks about?
Yes. Like, cause then there'll be the real shift of New York City. Otherwise he'll probably be a one-term mayor because he probably won't be able to enforce any of these policies that he's trying to put together. And even the governor came out and said, I will not let Mamdani tax the rich. Like, so, okay, well, that's your whole platform was taxing the rich. So if that changes, then, you know, what legs do you have to stand on? So I don't know. I'm not that optimistic that he's going to have any impact.
That's fair. And you know what? I'm with you, and I'm going to stay on this train of zero pessimism, but I don't know how the mechanics of this stuff all actually work, like on the ground. I think that I have like a pretty deep frustration towards what happened to LA even.
Yeah.
And like, look, I think it's undeniable that LA has gotten significantly worse in the last however many years you want to say, 5, 6. Like it's undeniable. Like the fact that like thinking about robbery and armed robbery and assault and home invasion and just the homeless thing and the way businesses are closing, like it is, I feel like we're slowly, you know how they say like you can boil a frog, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's happening and we're just sort of used to it. And not only should that not be happening, but LA obviously should be getting better. Like it should be significantly better than it was 5 years ago. And that's what worries me is obviously that type of thinking does not work. And when it doesn't work, they just ignore it. You know, Gavin Newsom is constantly talking about, but it's California's number one state for Fortune 500 businesses and the number one, and just saying all these things that were already true.
Yeah. Nothing to do with you.
Right. And so it just worries me because I've seen legitimate people in power who you trust watch a place degrade and act like it's not happening. And I hope that doesn't happen in New York.
Yeah. I think some things will change. And I think the reality is that like people in New York, the younger people are pretty disenfranchised. It's obviously it's a huge subsect of like different ethnic groups that probably feel left behind. And then obviously there's a lot of, I think, religious and racial tension in the city as well. And I think that plays in favor of Mamdani because it's so diverse. And I
also think, I just have to say, I think that the Israel thing is a bigger taps into people's emotions more than we might realize.
Yes, I think
meaning that he's like one of the only politicians that is very outspoken against Israel. And I just think like there's a bit of Israel fatigue, and a lot of people are in a little bit of a catch-22. A lot of politicians of like not really being able to sort of denounce what they're doing, but whatever. I just think that like his ability to, or his willingness to like be wildly outspoken about it, I think like rises him above the noise a little more than we might realize.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. That seems like en vogue with especially the younger crowd.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see what happens, but enjoy it while we got it.
I want to reiterate on that. It's like, can you imagine? So I was, 21 years old when 9/11 happened. And I remember what New York felt like to Arab people and brown people, and to see them in my lifetime, 25 years later, elect a,
which like
person that looks more like them than not is pretty wild.
Which is also like, that part is so like cool in a way. It's just sort of a shame that like it has to come with like, I don't know, what I see as so much negativity, which to me, what I mean by that is like hating the rich, hating successful people, hating like everyone being to blame for. I just think that stuff is so toxic, but that is kind of wild because you never, ever, ever would have imagined that in 2001.
Never. I never thought
no chance
that it would ever happen in my lifetime.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Last but not least, the Mississippi Miracle.
Yeah, I found this super interesting. So over 10 years ago, maybe even less, Mississippi was 49th in literacy. Mm-hmm. And they got a donation, a philanthropy cause from, I think his name is Jim Barksdale, one of the early Netscape guys, and over $100 million to just focus on literacy, training of teachers, and really try to solve the root of the problem. And which is phenomenal because the literacy rates in Mississippi have gone up substantially. It's not like at the top of the country, but at least it's trending the right way. Right. And my call out is, in California, we're moving the goalpost instead of forcing people to learn how to kick goals.
Yep.
And that to me is racist. People think it's racist that the way standardized tests are. I think it's racist that you're moving the goalpost on Black and brown people in California and not setting them up for success in later in life.
Yep.
And so I think it's absolutely bananas that we are lowering our educational standards across the country. It's literally the dumbest thing you could ever do.
Especially, what'd you say, $100 million?
Yeah.
Especially when $100 million when it comes to government spending is literally nothing. So you could even give $100 million to every state. It still doesn't matter. And it just, I agree with you. I think it's so sad that we, instead of looking at the actual root of the problem and actually making schools better in those neighborhoods or making sure that people are set up for true success, instead we once again, keep people dependent. It just feels like there's this urge to keep people keep just wanting the government to save them. Right.
Keep them dumb
and that's
poor.
everyone.
That we should be pushing people for excellence, pushing people for greatness. And you'll see what happens to communities when that happens. Like a lot of the top 25 public schools in the country, they're all in Silicon Valley, all of them.
Yeah.
Why? because they're pushing kids for greatness. They're telling them, you could be the next Steve Jobs. You could be the next Larry and Sergey or whatever. Like, they're down the street. That could be you.
Right.
And everywhere else, they're pitching a different story, and it's dumb. It's like so bad for the country. It's bad for crime. It's bad for property values. It's like, we're not playing the long game here. The long game here should be like, we need to fix our education, because here's what's happening as a parent. My kids are getting the best education.
Yeah.
My kids are playing chess. My little one's at 5 years old playing chess, and he's gonna have such a different experience than someone else in a city or state that doesn't have resources. And it's not going to be fair later in life. And that's going to cause more civil unrest 25 years from now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. Okay, well, at least we have a good example that it can and does work in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And shout out to everyone that just, all these really rich fellas that and women that just say, you know what, fuck it, I'll take care of this.
Yeah.
Let me just send 100 milli down there, and we'll see what happens to those rates. I mean, that'd be the funnest thing. If you were like a multi-billionaire, to be hey, you know what I think I'm going to do this year on my goal sheet on my whiteboard is I'm going to raise the literacy rates in Mississippi.
Yeah. Well, Bill Gates, that was his original intention, but for some reason it's gotten a little fogged up.
Did you see that fucking Bill Gates said, sort of, I want to go lightly here, but like sort of like retracted the climate change the severity of the threat?
Really? I didn't see that.
Oh my gosh. It is just, look, I don't want to go too deep into it because I didn't read it word for word, so I don't want to misrepresent it. But essentially, like, once again, it's just when you're preaching doom and like the world is going to end in 20 years, your kids won't have kids, you're this, that, whatever. He came out with a statement, maybe Josh, you could read it, but that said, like, essentially, I think, we need to rethink it. Humanity will continue to prosper. It is something we need to take a look at, but it's not going to
end the world.
We're going to continue to prosper.
Yeah, let's keep the money train going.
Fuck, dude, man. Like, so you bad. Just spent so long. Like, think of these kids that are protesting and the Greta Thunbergs and the like, where's my future? You're stealing my future. And like, maybe
the guy
not.
Who led the charge is like,
like, we're going to be fine.
Yeah, I was just fucking with you.
It's crazy, dude. So once again, I think that's my biggest
that's amazing
sentiment for today's episode is, listeners, do not succumb to the urge to become doomery and bitter.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Once again, I'm not saying that he said it's nothing and I was wrong, but he just sort of reeled back, like, he put out a book called like How to Stop the Impending Climate Disaster or whatever it's called. Yeah. And just a little bit of, I can feel the sentiments sort of starting to get reeled in a little bit by the Al Gores. Okay. Great episode. Shout outs.
Yeah, we have two. The first one, you need to build the podcast set in Drama's apartment.
I'm up for it. Count me in.
I don't mind. It's actually closer to my house.
That's true. Come on over. It's really just bad for Anand. Anand lives really close to the studio. Dee and I make the trek through the wild streets of Los Angeles.
The war zone.
Yep. What else? Christian?
From Christian, as the 2025 pistachio harvest rolls on, I got to give big shout out to my coworkers, Melanie, Chris, and the great, powerful Michael. These three have been working nonstop, filling silos with hundreds of millions of pounds of pistachios. Finish off the season strong. Another huge shout out to the R&D team, who just launched 2 new chocolate-coated kernel flavors, chocolate toffee and chocolate sea salt. Damn, that sounds good. Send some over.
Yeah, send them over, Christian. And shout out to the team.
Yeah.
Working hard on those pistachios. I didn't even realize it was pistachio season.
I feel like it's always pistachio season.
That's what it seems like, but maybe it's time to grind if you're in the pistachio
big
biz.
Industrial complex.
Yeah, they want to keep you dumb and nutless. Dumb and full of nuts. Okay, that's it?
That's it.
Okay, everyone have a great week. Stay positive, optimistic. If it's doomery and negative, turn it off and turn on group chat. Have a great week.